right. Hello. Hi. Good evening, everyone who is joining us today at our special 5 o'clock Giras y Desveladas on this Sunday, December 14th. And although it's just like with family, where you're happy to see them, but you're sad because of the occasion that you have come together. And so we have come together. I'm so happy to see you, Lori, beautiful as ever. Um, but we're sad because our dear friend has gone. And he became a dear friend of ours. He was a dear friend of our father's, and he became a dear friend of ours after we interviewed him on Giras y Desveladas. And then we were blessed to go over there to Corpus to be at a Tejano Legend Pioneers breakfast with him. And then he invited us over to the museum. And then he invited us over to his studio. He gave us a personal tour. He sat us down. He played music for us. And like I said, to Rock and Roll James, because he asked me what I thought about Abraham Quintanilla. I said, of course, I've there. You hear the noise because people talk, and people always talk. But the man I met, the man we met, and the man we talked to, and the man who presented himself to us was just a music lover, somebody's daddy, somebody's grandpa, and somebody who lost his daughter tragically. And nothing but love and respect for him. And I'm coming from, I know what the family's going through right now. I know how it feels to lose a father, especially such a strong figure. I do not envy what they're going through now. As a father, I understand the loss. I cannot imagine what Marcela is going through. Remember how excited he was to introduce her to us? She was the light of his life, and they were married over 60 years. Hi, Lori Jean. How are you? Oh, no. Oh, you're muted.
Wow, I should know better than that. I do this for my day job.
So, welcome. Technical difficulties. That's my middle name.
Um, Thank you for having me. Like you said, Gigi, I know it's a somber occasion. Um, I was excited to see you on here because it's just like old times, and normally I'm on Teams meetings and they're not about. It's different, So it was wonderful to open this up and see my friend Gigi, my pal. Um,
Yes.
but you're right, Gigi. We were messaging about Mr. Quintanilla, and of course, like you mentioned, our dads knew him, and lots of people that we know knew him and have personal stories and experiences with him that are, like you said, they're different from what you
Nice.
see and hear and everywhere. Where do you not see, about this family? And this, the whole Quintanilla family, of course. And like you said, he was so kind to us, and we were messaging back and forth, you and I, and we messaged about, when he came on the show, we were so shocked. We were both shocked. And when you told me, I remember being like, "What?" Because our little old podcast, and
Brand new.
again, like you mentioned, our dads, I always knew of whenever my dad would see him, or if Selena was somewhere, even when I was in high school, and um, you know, Mr. Quintanilla, no matter where he was, le saludaba, and no matter the time or the place, because they all go way back. I mean, they all go way back,
Yes.
and like you mentioned, we saw him at the breakfast after we interviewed him, and he just talked and talked to us like first. The first thing that I was surprised about, is when he would talk to us, even on the podcast, it was as if we didn't know already who he was. And it was like we didn't already know who his children
I
were.
wanted to say that. Like, he talked to us like if we hadn't seen the movie 10 million times.
Well,
You
not
know,
even just
like,
the movie, like if we didn't know, and he
I
said,
know.
he was like, and my son, AB, and I'm like, okay, straight face here. Yes, I wanted to
Of
say,
course we
of course
know.
we know.
Yes.
And he just never came across that way. Super humble in our
Super humble.
in our podcast. And then when we met him in person, again, our dads have always known him, and they go back before
Way
us.
back. Yes.
Before us, they were my dad's idols, the Dinos. And when the whole thing we've talked about on Giras y Desveladas in the beginning, the legends, the pioneers, they all go way
Yes.
back. But in meeting him, like you said at the breakfast, I was completely shocked that, and I know our friends that are used to hanging out with him, and they are always around them. It was different, but for me, I mean, I called into work that day to go to the breakfast, and I can
We
say that
don't
now
know that. We
because
don't know
I don't work there anymore.
that. Yeah.
It's a different place,
You
but
know, there's
like
choices you gotta make in life.
I can't miss. I didn't expect that anyway, but then the way he just opened the doors to us, and we sat in his personal office, and like you said, he played music for us. And for me, I was honored. We were in his personal space with his personal computer, and he was talking to us like, um,
I took a video. Look,
I remember you taking, but I didn't want to like video.
okay, look, and I'm gonna say this. I I do take videos and pictures at awkward moments where people normally don't. But I'm going to defend myself and tell you, my brother's dead. My mom is dead. My father is dead. I know the only thing I will have left is photos and
Mm-hmm.
recuerdos. So I took that video. I have it. I'm going to try to upload it right now. I took that video, and everybody's like, and I felt the awkwardness of videotaping, but I knew I the the gravity of the moment. This was never going to happen again. And look,
True. Mm-hmm.
and who else has a video of that?
It was such a crazy experience to me because, going back, of course, meeting him at the breakfast in person, but I would always see him at Hi Ho because I live in Corpus Christi. Hi Ho is this restaurant that's been around for a long time. And come to find out, one of our closest friends, her parents started that restaurant and then they sold it later. It started out as a different restaurant. I know I'm going the other way with this, but I'll bring it back. I
Go
promise.
ahead.
Um, but I would always see him eating breakfast there. He would eat there all the time because they said that restaurant Hi Ho in Corpus Christi was the place that Selena liked to eat enchiladas. And if you go there, people started making TikToks and stuff about that place, and it's always packed anyway, always packed. Share tables, like people from all walks of life. But particularly, Selena liked enchiladas was the story from there. So you see her pictures everywhere, and you see this big mural of her everywhere. And so I would see him there, and I would never approach him. I didn't want to say like, "Hey, remember this was before you and I interviewed him," but I wouldn't say, "Hey, do you know my dad?" Because I didn't want to be that cheesy person. Of then, I mean, this was just
I
random.
am that cheesy
It was
person.
well, I mean, this is years ago. We're talking 10 years ago when, but I mean, now I would do it. I would have done it, but he was there by himself and people would recognize him and they would walk up to him and they would talk to him and they would take pictures with him. He was always very quiet. Even at the Legends breakfast, he was just very quiet.
Just
Um,
watching.
yeah, he's just super quiet. But it just really struck me how humble he was, and down to earth, and
Yes.
approachable. And so,
Yes.
and back to our interview with him, just all the things he just like we talked to him for like over an
It
hour.
was, I think it was a 2 hour show. And
It was like
I did do a
that.
Recuerdos episode. I did do a Recuerdos episode, but only 1 hour was done. And I need to do the second part because everything he had to say. Now, this I do have to say, and I mentioned this beforehand in my earlier show. If it wasn't for Abraham Quintanilla, sometimes people don't think about it. If he hadn't been him, there would be no Selena. If he didn't love music, which he showed us the love, his love for music, there would have been no Selena. So really, when we interviewed him with the perspective of him being a pioneer of the music, a legend in the industry, a legend to Tejano music, and I think that's why he really appreciated the interview because it was focused on him. And as a matter of fact, let me check to see if I have the video. Whoa, wait. Of course, let's say hi to everybody. Bernardo's travels. He's a Okay, he says he's a traveling
Good here.
dog, and yeah. So saludos to you. Saludos, Luis Garcia from Rio Grande City. We've got somebody coming into the YouTube. Says hi, Cole. I don't know what that is, but hi, welcome. We've got Luis Garcia says hi, Lori, and then we've got Mina George saying hi as well. Um, Somebody says, I really feel sorry for Marcela Abelard's travels. Yeah, yeah. My sister, Mary Lou, love you. Hi, Mary Lou. And then we've got Alex Villarreal saying saludos to his two favorite ladies. Saludos, Mr. DJ Old School. May Manny Guerra and Abraham Quintanilla rest in peace too.
Isn't that something?
I
Yeah,
know.
I
I
hadn't. I
know.
saw that post, and I hadn't thought about it. I've been on a tornado whirlwind this last
Yes.
2 months,
Yes. Well, welcome to life.
and I just made that. Yeah, I forgot.
I know Manny Guerra.
Yeah.
I mean, giant from the golden era. Dennis, hi Dennis. Says hello, Gigi. Hi Dennis. And saludos to everybody coming in. Of course, I want to thank Juan Mendoza Jr. and Lila Lisa Promotions. I told them we're doing another show at 5. So hopefully you're watching on Tejano TV as well. Tejano TV boasting over 4.4 million views by this point. They are awesome. Go check out Tejano TV, Mas Chingon. They've got videos from new artists, Tejano, old artists. They've got everything. Anyway, so
Yes, we ran into Juan Mendoza last
oh, that's right.
Saturday. Sorry, I'm losing my days of the week here. Last Saturday we went to the event at the Totally Tejano Hall of Fame Museum.
Yeah.
Juan Mendoza was set up there, and so yes, thank you to him. He interviewed my dad and
Oh,
me, and
oh,
he said you'll always be a part of the Giras y Desveladas, and I
of
said, oh,
course. Especially in the Recuerdos
that.
episode, you come out again.
I appreciate that.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I wanted to show when we were talking about that as him being a legend, and I'm gonna show the promo that we did, and just to get a snip of some of his songs and the way he started, because he started with, what was it called? Doo wop, bebop, boo wop. I don't know
Yes, in
that
English.
in
Mhm.
English. So let's watch that real quick.
No, someone still cares. So good to know that you'll always be there. I know what I was born to make you cry. I will love you till I die. Give me one more chance. Won't you give me a chance? A love as sweet as yours is changing you and me to find someone to love. Hoy te iba a querer, pero me arrepentí. La luna me miró y yo la comprendí. Me dijo que tu amor no me iba a hacer feliz, que me ibas a olvidar.
Dicen que eres mala, que tú eres quien le hablas a los hombres. También dicen que te chiflas y te vuelas con cualquiera que se ponga pantalones. Pero así te quiero, aunque seas dorada, y de lo que digan no me importa nada, pero así te quiero.
No, I can't forget you ever. Oh, oh, so hard to tell.
There it is. And that was the promo where I just put in a little snip of, and while I remembered doing this again. I remembered how I started falling in love with the songs. I was working with them, cutting, snipping in them, putting them together and all this. And I started loving the songs, and too bad that I had never heard of them before, you know, but that's his music, guys. Look it up. Abraham Quintanilla, Los Dinos. He started with American music, and then he talked to us about how it really happened. That part in the show, We Want to Dance, that it really happened. That they didn't want to hear them because they were Mexican, and so they decided to change. You're muted again, Miss Lori Jean.
Right. Yes, that they had to be escorted out of that. Where did he say that city was? Oh, they were somewhere in a rural area, and they had to be escorted because the people at that dance started kicking their drums. That
Yes.
they were singing in English, and they wanted to dance like polkas and
Yes. Yeah.
polkas. They wanted to dance polkas.
He had great stories. And I think what he enjoyed most, and I remember, Laura Jean, we talked. We said we're not going to mention the obvious, right?
Yes.
We're not going to mention it, But then he did.
He did.
And so he opened the door to that because he was proud of his baby girl. Simple as that.
And what really got me in that moment when he started to mention her is he mentioned her, and later he talked about it. And then I've watched the latest Netflix documentary, which was incredible. I think once is in. It was just. It was. I don't even have the words. Like, it's just was very hard to watch. It was beautiful and sad at the same time.
Super bittersweet.
When he was speaking in the documentary, it reminded me of when he was speaking with us, because he started to speak of her in moments as if she was still here.
Yes, in present tense.
Yes. And then he would say, even when we were in his office, he would say things as if she was here.
Yes.
And he later said, even in the interview with us, we feel like she's still with us.
She's still with us.
And like and he brought it up. You're right, because we talked about it, and
we had agreed.
We were like, no, this is about him.
Right, it's about him.
I don't have the heart, like as a mom, as a parent.
I can't even go there. I really can't. I know what you mean.
I can't. I don't care what everybody else says anywhere. People say really negative things, and sometimes, and I've lived in Corpus now over 10 years, and I've heard good and I've heard bad, and I don't care. From my personal opinion, I will say, from a parent's point of view, you can't tell me how to mourn if God forbid I had to.
Exactly.
Nobody's, and I know they're in the public eye, so they put themselves out there, and people will say, well, they're out there, that's why. But he spoke of her like she was still.
Now that you mentioned that, Yes, all that negative talk. I did when I was doing my research before we interviewed him. I ran across something that I want everybody to see because this, while I was doing my research about him, you know, I didn't realize this even existed. And honestly, I don't know where it came from. It was somewhere on YouTube, maybe an interview with him, a random interview with somebody. And I want you all to see and I want you all to listen because he addresses he addresses the ugliness of the people right here. Let's
The
listen.
doctor on the chair questioning, you know, and the doctor testified something that some people have been ugly with me about that she died because I didn't want to give her blood. Yes. It's just a stupid lie. And so in the book, it says what the doctor said. It says when the ambulance brought her into the emergency room, she was already dead. She was brain dead. And he said, but I knew who she was. And I tried as a last resort to do something. He says, and I gave her blood. And when he said I gave her blood, my reaction was, she didn't want blood. Now the reporters are right there next to me with their cameras. They picked it up and ran with it. And 26 years later, people are accusing me that she died because I didn't want to give her blood. And that's why I put that in the book, because the doctor testified. He says, I gave her blood, but she was already dead. I tried it as a last resort. He says, I even opened up her chest and massaged her heart to see if I could get it working again. Nothing worked. The doctor on the chair questioning.
Can you imagine this poor man faces the worst thing a human could go through by losing a child, and then people being ugly to him and accusing him? There it is, guys. If y'all had never heard that before, there it is from his mouth. And I don't mean to be ugly either, but people were ugly to me. People have been ugly. People say ugly things, and there he is saying, why does he have to defend himself? Somebody murdered his daughter. Why did he have to defend himself? But
Mhm.
he was so good to even after all that, still receiving not just us, Lori Jean, anybody that would come. I don't know, I would love to say that he treated us as special. We would love to think, but you know what, I think maybe he made everybody feel special. I think he made maybe it's like when our dad would tell us we're our favorite and tell everybody I'm your favorite, you're my favorite. Actually, my dad would never say that. He would say, I love you all in different ways. So he was very
Mhm.
fair.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because we were at Domingo Live this morning, and my dad was on Domingo Live this morning, and along with Tejano Highway 281, and they performed, and it was a great, great, great episode. And of course, Rudy Trevino and Barbie Leo, the host. Side note, Barbie Leo's dad and my dad started together Los Casinos. They started playing in a band in high school. Again, they all go way back. The generation after Los Dinos,
Yeah.
because I think Los Dinos played at their prom. But that being said, Barbie had a similar story of how Mr. Quintanilla was there on the day of her first episode on Domingo Live. And that, even when she would do radio, that he would always, reach out to her and encourage her. And, we're talking about our little moment with them, and they had all these years, and it was the same story that, he was super encouraging, always had something positive to say. Those are my dogs back there. Sorry. And she mentioned that, that he would give her little insights and talk about, just be encouraging. And same with Rudy, they, of course, they got choked up, and they spent some time honoring Mr. Quintanilla this morning on the episode. And even Rudy, he said over the years they were really good friends, and everybody, had an experience with him, a positive.
Yes, yes, yes. I think anybody who had something bad to say about him didn't know him personally, because personally,
Mhm.
he was just a sweetheart. He really was. And I would like to think that maybe, because I remember when I met him, I met him with my dad. My dad introduced me to him. And there was that little, his daughter's gone. It was after she had gone. His daughter's gone, and Juan Guerrero's daughter's still here. Cecilio Garza's daughter is still here. Leo's daughter is still here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I would like to think that we were just slightly special as daughters of Tejano artists from that era. His friends were daughters of his friends.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
he was so kind to us. He
yes,
thanked us. He said, "Thank you for doing this," because we did want to speak about his experiences when he started in the music. And I thought about him the other day when I was driving somewhere downtown. Every now and then, I still get lost in Corpus because the roads make no sense whatsoever in certain places. And I remember the story that he told us, that after the night that they had to be escorted from that dance hall, from wherever they were. I can't think. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm already, my brain, half of my brain is at work
was it
already.
Eagle Pass? Maybe.
No, it was somewhere around here. It was
Okay.
somewhere around Corpus.
Okay.
And he said the very next day that they went to the record shop downtown, that it used to be at 6 Points, and I was at 6 Points. I passed in, which is a place in Corpus. A lot of the old buildings aren't there anymore, but according to my dad, and I'm sure your dad, my dad's always telling the stories about in Corpus, that the dances were amazing, that the la gente muy alegre, that in Corpus,
That the dancers in Corpus, my dad would always say, the dancers in Corpus dance very different than all the other Tejano places. That they extra turns, vueltas, vueltas, vueltas.
Oh, dad says,
Yes.
and they would have those big dances downtown and all these places. But 6 Points, supposedly there was like clubs or whatever, but there was a record shop. And Mr. Quintanilla said they went to that record shop the next day, and that they started listening to songs in
Yeah.
Spanish, to learn songs in Spanish. So I was driving around 6 Points. I don't remember why. I've been having to go back and forth. That's been my life lately, everywhere. But all good things, thank God. But
Yes.
I was parked there at 6 Points. I saw there's like a big stone marker that says 6 Points. And I was like, oh, I remember he said that record shop was here somewhere. I wonder, this was before he passed away. This was like a week ago. And I thought about that story that he told us of the record shop at 6 Points. And I thought, I wonder where that is. I wonder where it was, because he said it's not there anymore.
You know
But
what? Now that you mention that, Laura Jean, I had been meaning to reach out to him as well. There was just like, I had a question about something. I was like, who would know Abraham, Mr. Quintanilla?
mhm. And he's not
And
the only one that mentioned about dances down there and things downtown. And but
I had a
uh,
great memory. We have to say saludos to people coming in.
oh
Ruben
yes, there's a
Lopez.
lot. There's a lot.
Yes, I know. So I'm so sorry we caught up in this conversation.
I
Ruben
saw
Lopez.
Mr.
Saludos.
Lopez this morning. Thanks for the brown. He gave brownies to everybody that was there. And yes, by the way, the Domingo Live episodes with my dad in 281 are online. My daughter texts me that they're on YouTube now. Um,
We'll make
but
sure to see him. Is that his new music out?
Dad's new music, one comes out. We're actually both releasing one, and he's calling it
Oh,
Double Trouble. And I said, well, that's kind of true.
oh, how cute. That's
No.
adorable.
Anyway, I'm sorry you were
Oh,
reading.
yeah, let's go. David Vela, saludos from Oakland. Hello, David Vela. Luis
Oh,
Garcia says, Mr. Quintanilla, Selena's father will always be remembered. What boy, when I hear doo wop, I think of Kermit the Frog's doo wop song, Sesame Street.
hey,
Okay.
Doo-Wop Kermit the Frog was pretty great. So
I love Kermit the Frog.
let's try to
I'll
be
never forget.
compliment.
One of our favorite songs was Over the Rainbows. No, no, no. Somewhere I find it. The Rainbow Connection. The Rainbow Connection.
I think I had a Kermit the Frog pillowcases and bedding set when I was a kid.
And then we have Mercy Perez says, hello, Gigi. Saludos, Mercy. How are you doing? And then we've got Abelard social media doing Selena and
I
reuniting.
saw that. I saw AB's Facebook had one of those AI generated. That's oh my gosh, my mom was making me because my parents were here. They already went back to the valley. And the AI generated thing. Oh my god, like
I
it.
know.
Oh, and my
Okay,
mom.
look, I had look. I am an AI aficionado, but I've been hugging lions and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be honest, I did because the curiosity was there. I did grab a picture of me and my dad,
I think I saw you do that. I that's.
and I only did it once. And
I
once I did
think
that, I
we
said,
had. I think we messaged about that. I think I said, "Oh my
"Yes."
god, Gigi," because every now and then
I don't know if I posted it because it was just too.
I could have
I don't
sworn I saw it
know.
somewhere, but no, I saw that AB Quintanilla posted something like that AI generated right around the time that my mom walked in because, like I mentioned on Domingo Live today, they were talking about Mr. Quintanilla in the very beginning and throughout the show, in the beginning of the show. Um, and my mom said, my mom said, I'm sorry. She walked in and she said, she, ugh, she said, I hope the first thing he saw in heaven was her.
Of
And
course.
and I said, oh my gosh. And I had just seen that AI generated thing. And I told her, I'm not even going to show you what I just saw. Like, I
Because
can't go there right now, Mom. That's too,
yeah, yeah.
but to think, I mean, we could just think about that. But, when he said to us, and now that we see interviews that he does with other people, he, he talked about like having the museum and all these people come to see everything, that it felt like she was still with them, and that she would, or when him and his wife were home by themselves, that they felt like she would walk in, like, maybe she might walk in, and he said in so many ways that she was still with them, but or
Oh yeah. I mean, well, we can. I can't even go there with losing. I can't even say. But like you said at the beginning, somewhere at the beginning, everybody grieves their own way, and nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong. You know, and and addressing the fact that some people, addressing the fact that some people say, well, they need to he needs to let his daughter rest in peace, and I I I understand. It's a special, maybe a person that's not a musically inclined or not a musician, maybe it's a little different. But if your loved one is a musician and they have passed, then you know what? You want to keep them going. You
Mhm.
want I do that with my dad. And I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks, because I'm grieving my dad the way I can grieve my dad. And that means playing his music, because every time I play his music, he revives.
Mhm.
I hear him, his voice. I hear him, his beautiful lyrics. I hear him. Why not? Why couldn't they do it for their daughter? Why was it wrong for them
Mhm.
to do it, to keep their sister alive, to keep their child alive? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
And
wrong.
they did a beautiful. I mean, I can't imagine that the whole family has left such an impact on our whole culture. Uh,
Exactly.
it's and not everybody would understand that, but I remember I worked with somebody years and years ago, and when they had the festival here in Corpus, the Selena festival, someone commented, well, you know, like saying that
Be
they didn't
negative.
agree
Be
with being negative,
Yeah.
and I said, well, it's different. It's different for every culture. You know, they did music as a family because they could.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that. Not everybody has that talent. Not
Yeah.
everybody
Has that
has
opportunity.
abilities and opportunities, and they work their butts off for that. And they could. they did it and they could do it and they had the talent and, look what they were able to do. I saw a beautiful quote that from AB. Or actually, it's one of my favorite news people. Her name's Leslie Adamy, and the family released a quote, a statement, an official statement, and it was so beautiful. And in the statement, I have to read it to you.
Right.
She posted the picture. I'm sorry. She posted the pictures, and then the quote was, he was a guiding presence within his family and worked tirelessly to protect, provide for, and lead with integrity. It's beautiful. Um, but going back to the fact that they were so talented, he saw that. But it was AB that said, that wasn't the post. That was a beautiful post too. But the one he said was, for his dad taught them that the impossible is possible.
Yes.
That's a message that can reach anybody in any
Yeah.
culture.
Across cultures and across time.
Yes. So that message could be for anyone, wherever you are in life, whatever age, wherever you live, whatever your situation. We need people to say things like that, because it's true. And you never know if you don't try. And I thought that was beautiful that he said that about his dad, because that's a game changer right there.
Yeah.
Families do things together because they struggle together. Like they did music together. I
Yeah.
love that part of the documentary where I think it was AB that was saying that that the dad decided to do the Hano because that would be a good market and that was something they could do well, and that's very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
He's a good businessman.
Traditionally our families have to do my dad, when he was younger, what do we know that a lot of our background of our families did when they were younger? They went and worked in the fields, and they did it as a family, and they went up north as a family. How
Yeah.
many people have we spoken to our dad's age and older, or the ages of our, that experienced that? They were traveling for work to make money. This family was also traveling. They were working. They were providing for each other by creating music. And
Yeah.
what a
How was
privilege!
that?
What a
Yes.
privilege! So,
Exactly. Let me share some of our special moments we had on the on the on the show.
I
And
hope you put out the part where I put my foot in my mouth, because when he brought his wife in,
wait. I think I edited. Don't worry about it. I think I
I
edited it.
didn't know what to say. I was
Well, let's see what happened. Okay, here we go.
I want y'all to meet my wife real quick.
yes, of course.
Oh,
Hi.
Over here,
hi, hi. Oh,
I think,
It's so nice to meet you. Oh my god!
oh, I.
Wow. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
that's why I married her 61 years ago.
You are so beautiful. It's so great to meet you.
Same here.
I think of you.
Wow.
And,
My wife is fixing to turn 80 years old.
Oh, wow. God bless you guys. That is just amazing. That's just amazing. Feel beyond blessed. I could have never guessed when I started this show.
I want y'all to
that was the sweetest. That was the sweetest. In that moment, it was just like they're just, like I mentioned to you, it felt like family. You're just talking with family, and you're just
That
It
was
was a really special.
in love with his wife,
Yes.
his daughter, and happened to be a musician.
He definitely put his family first, and that's a beautiful thing for any generation to see a man who puts their family first. And like AB, to quote him, he said that taught them that the impossible was possible. What a legacy to leave for all
For all
kids,
of us.
for anybody. Yes, you're right. You're right. And his wife, that I think was I was surprised, but I felt, like we mentioned about how people, things that people say about him, or how other people perceive him. And like you said, people must not have, if you knew him, people that say things maybe just didn't know him. But in that moment, for him to feel so comfortable with us that he said, "Here's my wife. Look,
I
come and meet my
know.
wife."
It was like,
And
yeah, here's my friend, meet my new friends, or like that. Like,
yes,
yeah, that's how
I was,
I
I
know. I
was
think that's why.
shocked.
And I felt it again. I didn't realize I was going to feel that again, and I felt that again. I felt like he was just bringing us in, and
Yes,
we're
because he
part of the
didn't have
family.
to talk to us.
Exactly.
Who are we? He didn't have to. And he joked about it at the Legends breakfast. And he said, and I don't know there was a lot of our friends were there. If anybody else heard this, I know Mr. Noyola was standing right behind him because he was videotaping. So, Mr. Noyola, if you see this, or when you see it, hello to the whole Noyola clan. Mr. Quintanilla said something like, Netflix called me, but I said no. But I did Giras y Desveladas. And what?
Oh, man, if somebody has that, that is
When I
gold.
hear things, I'm pretty like, I bet money.
You
He
know what?
said
Now I
that.
do.
He was. It was when we took a picture with him, and
Yeah.
then I can't find all those pictures. I was sitting and talking to him for a while, and I don't even remember about what. You talked to him for a while. We talked to him together. Then I went back and talked to him by myself, and
Uh-huh.
then him and my dad and I took a picture. Because right behind him was Critter, like photobombing, and I was like, that was
Photo bombing.
our picture. And
Uh,
so, um, he said that, and but I
that's
mean,
true. I totally,
that was
that
2 years
memory was
ago.
totally wiped from my mind. But
'Cause
you're
he said, he
right.
goes, "Netflix called," and I said, "No," but I was on there on He Does, or I don't remember
Desvelado.
what the name of the show, but
That's
um,
right.
I was like, "Wow."
And
And then when that Netflix came out, the most recent one, I thought,
well, he finally gave
I
you
don't
to
know,
Netflix.
I couldn't help but remember that moment, whether he was
You
telling
should
the
have
truth.
called him. I
I'm
thought
not
you
saying,
had said
but
no to
people are
Netflix.
gonna be like, "She said that he." No, I didn't say that.
Well, it was
I'm
before. It was
It was
before.
before,
Well, okay,
yeah,
we could say he does he Desveladas before he did Netflix.
and he said he did
He
it,
said it. He said
and I
it.
know it doesn't
Oh
count
my
unless someone
gosh.
has it on
And he
video.
was just joking, but I mean, we were just look honestly, and I I don't know if you did, but I got backlash. Like, how did you get Abraham to get on your
I didn't
podcast?
get the backlash because I'm just the co-host. You're the one that
I got I got it. Like, how did you get him to be on your show?
You
Some were
asked me
nice, some asked
politely.
nice, and some were not nice.
You
And
asked politely.
and I was like, I
But
don't
you
know.
know what? All the not nice people, and when you're out the other.
I know. I was just like, well, you're not Gigi. My
You asked
go-to
me.
answer. I don't
Well,
know. So I
that
want
was
to say
really
a
sweet.
special shout out to Brienne Gaona. I love you, my child.
Hi,
And
Gigi's baby girl.
saludos to Mary Rivera Marquez. Hello, Gigi from Tejano to the Bone, DJ on Tejano to the Bone. Saludos. And we've got my child again doing the hearts. And let me
Mm.
see. And we've got Rosalinda Cardenas. Prayers for all Mr. Quintanilla family. May he rest in peace.
I don't
Yeah,
know if that's my cousin, or I call her Tia Linda. Um, is that you, Tia Linda? I don't know about in y'all's family, but in our family, my dad's second cousins are my tias and tios. That's just
it gets
automatic.
yeah, it gets complicated after that, right?
I call Tia Linda. She's my dad's first cousin, but I've called her Tia Linda my whole life, and her
Well,
brothers as well. My tío Beto, my tío Roel, all that whole
that
Benitas.
was that was the question with actually over there in Peñitas with my mom's cousins in Peñitas, the Garceses. It's like they're my cousins. They're my mom's cousins. I
Mhm.
don't know if they're my. She said,
Mhm.
"Yes, Lori, it's me."
Oh,
Hello, Tia Linda.
we'll be at Bucanas Thursday, my dad and I.
Oh,
So,
you are this coming Thursday? Oh,
mm-hmm.
cool. I don't know if I'll be in the valley, but you know what? I'm not going to say anything because I'll say I'll make it, then I won't. You know what? Because
It's
Gigi's a hermit
okay.
of the day.
I really am a hermit. I just haven't been able to be one because, you know, I
Yeah.
was thinking of this quote since yesterday, the quote that says, "Don't count the days, make the days count."
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I almost posted that somewhere, and underneath I was gonna put, "But I need a nap."
Yeah.
I need to use a
Do
nap
that.
and
That's
a
perfect.
vacation
Yeah.
right now. But
Oh,
anyway,
I know. Like, dude, I mean, I am a hermit, but there I was driving to San Antonio. I did that Music Beat magazine honor to. They were doing a fundraiser and they were giving a lifetime achievement award to Little Joe and all
I
that. So
saw that. That was
yeah,
really
so
cool.
that was so cool. You know what? I mean, I, I I always tell myself, I'm done. Especially, my dad's not with me, my family's not with me. I'm done. It's just not the same. But then people come up to you and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so awesome," and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, maybe I should keep doing this.
Well, if you love something, do it. I mean, as long as it's not illegal.
I do love it. I do love it. But I've got this look, this is a second twofer that I do on a Sunday, and I promised Norma Salazar, my co-host, I told her I'm never doing another twofer. Oh my gosh, it takes the wind out of me, and then I have to rest for the rest of Sunday. Totally lose Sunday, you know. Uh, but
Yes.
here I am again.
No,
But
I
it
get
was
it.
for a totally awesome occasion, and
But it was so
this
special.
it's a
Special.
special day. It had to be done. I feel like this is gathering like the family that love. We lost a loved one. He was our family because maybe he wasn't blood related, but he's our family. He did the same things we did. He loved like our dads loved us, and he loved his daughters and his children like our dads loved us. And there's he loved his wife, and he made us feel like family. And how could you not grieve that?
Yeah,
How
well,
could you
I
not
feel
feel
like
bad that?
the whole family, but especially him being the patriarch, guiding the family. And I saw that quote as well. I want to say it was in the AB's post, AB Quintanilla's post. Guiding the family through um, everything. With music and just in life in general, providing them for them and taking care of them. But I feel like as far as I can remember, they are a part of they've always existed in our lives. They were always in there.
Yeah,
It was always that family, the whole family.
yeah,
And to see them and to just to know, and I think that's what was so cool about that documentary is, it started out from the perspective, I thought, from Selena's perspective, and then it slowly transitioned into theirs. But everything was as a family. Like, I don't know how
yes,
anybody could have something so negative to say about, and I won't even say the word negative anymore. Let's just say it was a beautiful thing that everything was done as a family. And then pertaining to music, even more so.
yeah.
Um, Going back to our time with him in his office,
Did,
you know,
uh,
he was like,
did you have a picture of it? I'm trying to. get a picture.
I
Did you
took a
get a picture?
picture of the Selena picture that he has on the wall because it was her saying stay in school. And I thought, I hadn't seen that one anywhere, but it reminded me when I moved to Corpus, I worked at Cunningham Middle School, and that school, and I actually had a retirement party that I went to last night for a friend of mine that I met there. And one of the first things, the friend of mine that retired, she had been working at that school for almost 30 years or a long time. She said, Selena came to our school, and Selena had gone to their school and done a show and done the whole, stay in school and like encouraging kids to stay in school. But I thought that was interesting. And to add to that, in the office with Mr. Quintanilla, and, had that picture of Selena and how important school was and encouraging kids in school. The first time I ever went to the museum, on the wall, it's just kind of like a plaque on the wall. And I know everybody goes in there it's a Selena museum.
Yeah.
But I've been in education. I've worked in schools, as have you. But we've worked in these schools they have like the demographics of the school are kids that families that are lower income or struggling. And something that I thought was awesome that nobody ever talked about, and I mentioned it to Mr. Quintanilla. I was super in awe of what they do for the community with the money from the museum, and nobody ever talked about that. But if you go into the museum and you walk in, on the wall is a list of the places they donate. They have a board. They provide like play areas, and we're not talking just like, oh, $5 for some books or 10 donate, a couple
Yeah.
hundred. We're talking like entire playgrounds
Yeah.
and large donations within the community. And they had a list of all these things where the money goes
Yeah.
with the donations. And I mentioned that to him, and I said, that is awesome that y'all donate like that, because a lot of times this, not every school district has. I know, coming from the Valley, a lot of the schools were brand new, and a lot of their facilities are brand new, and not every school has that. And as a teacher, where does that come from when my kids need pencils or scissors or notebooks? Or it comes from my pocket.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I've
And
spent
way more than 250 that the federal
hundreds
government
and
allows.
hundreds. So anytime you see people donating and helping out on the large scale to the schools or to children, it's, it makes me super thankful for. So I remember mentioning that to him, and he said, thank you. Yes, we do that. And he said, you can bring your kids anytime. You just let me know. And student kids.
Oh,
Not children kids. Well, I'm sure
right.
children kids too, but I thought that was awesome. And you know, I currently work with children from all over the world, and they know Selena, and to know
Yes.
that family, it inspires them, just like the quote again, the impossible is possible, you know,
Yeah.
but
Let's
I
go to. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
no, it's okay.
but I wanted to. I want just kind of reiterate how he did enjoy our conversation and our interview, and he actually says it in this. Let me see. Let me share it. Hold on. Because if I forget right now, I won't do it.
No, it's okay. I'll do it.
That's fine. We've been on long enough. I thank you so
Yes,
much.
and
I,
I might.
I want y'all to know that I really enjoyed this. Uh,
Oh,
I was kind of hesitant at first, whether because I didn't understand it like I do now. But
uh-huh.
it's great. It's a great show. I hope you guys continue doing this all the time. It's very informative. It,
Yes.
it, uh, it you know it shows the human side of us, La
Yeah.
Raza.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I appreciate you saying, we both do. And
That's Abraham Quintanilla telling me and you, Lori Jean, that he enjoyed our show.
wow.
How blessed are we? Wow. Wow. I don't think there's nothing to say to the Quintanilla family uh, except thank you. The gift they gave to our people, to Americans of Mexican descent, huge, huge. And I hope people will continue to learn about our raza, like he said,
Yeah.
our raza, get to know our accomplishments and what we do, what your dad does, what my dad did, what Abraham did. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not very clear. It's kind of murky waters as to how we got to where we're at,
Yes.
but it's there. And we're losing them. I'm trying. I got
And
Manny El Picante today on
yes, he's been. I was supposed to. Bad dottager, because I say I'm a dottager. But Mr. Manny, he does his shows on the weekdays, and when my dad comes to Corpus, it's on the weekends. So it's really hard. We've been missing each other since September, trying to schedule something. But back to Mr. Quintanilla and what he accomplished. When he talks about his stories that they start learning the songs in Spanish, they always spoke Spanish because I remember I brought something up about that, and he said, "No, we spoke Spanish. We just sang our songs in English."
right.
And they started doing both Spanish and English so long before, and they inspired. Our dads were still in high school,
Yeah. Yes.
and their stories, along with like the story of Mr. Buga.
I'm gonna do it. By the way, for those of you that don't know or are coming in, I've been doing Recuerdos episodes, which were the original Giras y Desveladas with the Tejano pioneers and legends, and having them talk about their experiences. And we had interviewed Buga first, right, from Grupo
Yes.
Quebrado, when he was talking about how he was, and we didn't know that he was part of Los Dinos.
Yes.
And that's why I got brave and said, well, we talked to Booga. He said he was one of your heroes. He's like, oh yeah,
I
you know.
know.
So we kind of made that connection. But it's beautiful to talk to all those legends, and I'll be putting, maybe not once a week, because that's a lot of Gigi's got a
Yes,
lot going on. So
I
maybe
know.
I'll summer it down to once a month. But because I still need to show the second half of Abraham Quintanilla's uh interview as a Recuerdos episode. But for those of you that are interested, it's Giras y Desveladas on YouTube. Let me get you all the da, 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 da. Get you all, let me put it on there and get you all the link to Giras y Desveladas on YouTube, and you can check him out there. I know Juan Mendoza has been putting a lot of stuff on there, but he still, it takes a lot for him to put. He changed to another format, so a lot of our old shows are not on Tejano TV yet. He's working on it. So while he's working on that,
Mhm.
go over to the YouTube. I put it up there, YouTube channel, Giras y Desveladas. You can find them there. You can find all the other legends and pioneers. And we continue. Lori Jean, we still need to do Mel Villarreal. We still need to interview Mel Villarreal, your godfather.
Actually, At the Totally Tejano Hall of Fame and Museum, from what I understood, and it was a beautiful event last Saturday. The radio station KLMO is inside that museum now. So they were interviewing. They interviewed Dad. They played his song. They interviewed Balde. I saw Balde.
Really? Balde was there. Balde Munoz. Cool.
I haven't even posted those pictures, my personal pictures from that day. But
I've been lagging behind on
there's
pictures
so
too.
much, and so there's ongoing. They're gonna. That was just the
Yeah,
start.
I know. I know
That was just the
KLMO.
start.
I know some of the DJs were putting in my dad's stuff for the museum. I don't know what happened, or maybe Gigi didn't send the bio.
No,
That's very very
It's
possible.
it's not. They're not done, so it's ongoing. But hold on, I had a point of what was I saying there?
We were talking
Oh,
about
Mel.
yeah, Mel de Real.
So Roger Hernandez, shout out to Roger Hernandez. You know, he and my dad have known each other. You know, we always say that with everybody forever and ever. And Roger's cousin was a keyboard player for my dad for Los Casinos. He was these guys were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Self-taught.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing. And
Musical
so
geniuses.
Doc Herb, because there's a lot of Tejano music.
Oh,
from
Doc Herb,
Michigan.
really?
From Michigan. So they're like Roger, Doc Herb's in Michigan. I don't know if Robin will see this.
I've heard of Doc Herb.
Well, he helped my dad with. Sorry, this hair is bugging me there. Okay. He works with my dad with the arrangements for years now.
Norma, hi. I'm sorry.
Hi, Norma. I don't.
Hi, Norma.
Here.
Oh my goodness. All right. If you want to come in, Norma.
So, anyway, the Hall of Fame and Museum, they put up Mel's display, and Roger asked me to text it to him, and I did, and it was crazy because I told Roger, that's my godfather, like my tío padrino, Mel. But no, I know we're kind of just want to.
Okay, but your point is, did they interview? That still doesn't matter because Gigi hasn't interviewed him, so that's the.
Yes, well, my point was, I think we're gonna meet him for dinner, like just so they can get together. A lot of times, like I want to ask. I think they're gonna get together. We're working out something just to get together for dinner, kind of like Dad does with his friends here at my house. But sometimes they don't want to be filmed, so they just want to visit and hang out. So I was just telling Barbie Leo that this morning. I said, "Oh my God, the stories that they tell at the table! I want to just video them all and be like, can you repeat that?"
I know, and that's why Giras y Desveladas was born.
But my dad always says there's some stories we can't tell.
and that's why I told Crispy he should be the one to do, because Crispy doesn't care. Crispy should do the untold stories, the after party stories. Yes, the ones that we will not.
They tell him all of that. They tell him all that stuff because I guess because he's a dude, and they all. My dad said he's the missing link from the old and the new because he knows
the missing link. I thought it was because he looked like. No. Just kidding, Crispy.
No, the knowledge, I guess. But anyhow, back to Mel. Yes, those pioneers and the legends, and back to Mr. Buga, the stories Mr. Buga told, and then saying that, after talking to Buga about the Giras, that he was 13 years old and he took off with Los Dinos and they went all over the country,
and then he have to ask his parents.
Yes,
to let him go with them.
And that he had too much, he drank for the first time, way too much, and that he went back to school. Okay, we'll just have to save that for the recuerdos. Everybody's just going to have to watch that. But it had something to do with him being in school and, I don't know, stuff. It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was it would make a great movie.
A lot of these guys' stories would make a great movie. Now, of course, we know Carlos Guzman has his own book out. Oh, you know what?
It's amazing.
I bought. Let me see if I took a picture.
Wait, hold on.
Do you have the book? Okay, I bought the book too. But did you get it signed by him? Oh,
Of
Carlos.
course I did.
Oh, yeah, I have Carlos's book. No, I got Abraham's book. Did you get Abraham's book?
I didn't. I didn't. But
I have.
his
Well,
book
here's the
is
thing.
so interesting. I have Johnny's book too. That one is not. I should have taken my book. I could have had him sign it because he was there last Saturday.
Oh, that's right. We interviewed Johnny Hernandez as well.
His stories also
Oh, yeah.
super great.
Yeah.
But you know, one of my points I was going to make is when Mr. Quintanilla talked about going all over the country. It was touring. It was amazing that it tied from one story to another story that involved other people. And he said he met his wife in Washington State, and a lot of people our age, they don't realize even
Don't
still
know.
about that with the Giras. When I asked the question to my dad, and he's super sorry, my dogs are being annoying. When I asked my dad the question about traveling around the country, and he's like, "Ay, Lori, ya te dije." On purpose, tell me now. Like, oh, talking to you.
Lori.
Um, he's yeah, he's funny. He has no problem embarrassed or like messing with me.
Yeah, no, but Abraham had his stories
Oops,
that were
hold
just
on.
amazing. And I think even more amazing was it was really an amazing story that they were singing English, that because they're Americans, but they weren't accepted by the gringos, so they had to switch.
Mhm.
They had There it is right there. That was a turning point. That's why I always say it was like a renaissance of turning into a Tejano, because there was everybody here, your dad, my dad, everybody here, born here, listening to American music, Elvis Presley and everybody else. But then Peñitas is maybe 2 minutes away from the border. Mission is 5 minutes away from the border. Peñitas is 2 minutes away from the border.
Oh, I
You're
could look
close
down
to
the street
Milan.
and see the border wall.
Yeah.
I could walk to the end of the sidewalk in front of my parents' house, and I can see the border wall.
Oh my gosh.
It's
They
really close.
were-
So people don't realize that. But it's interesting because my daughter, we were talking today, and we were talking about, I told her that I felt like, and even in including what I saw in the documentary about AB writing his own songs, and he said that his dad told him, that in the documentary, AB said that there was this person that he aspired to write like, and that person was getting all these awards for songwriting
Right.
in San Antonio, and that AB was going to meet that guy, and he was going to go to his studio, and that guy gave him 2 songs, and then he told him that he couldn't use them, and in the documentary, AB says that he was devastated and that he was really upset and went to his
That he
room
cried.
and that he cried, and that I don't remember if it was that day or later that his dad said, "And what makes you think you can't write one better than him? That you can't write a better song than him?" And I thought that was a incredible moment watching that.
Yes.
And then listening to what he wrote for Selena, incorporating a lot of the 80s jams and things that they loved. And
The fusion.
I was talking to my daughter, and I said, when we talk to the pioneers, when we talk to Oscar, the accordion,
Yes.
Chore, and I remember Oscar Solis told us he loved Chicago,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
they're all rock and rollers.
the Chore interview,
The
all the
two
interviews are
2 hour
awesome,
interviews, I know.
but they each had a piece of that puzzle that was so cool. And so Chore said, the pasaditas that Snowball would put in were like no other. And you had a little short clip about it.
Yes.
But when we were talking about AB, my daughter and I, the music and the songwriting, he did the same thing that the pioneers did. He just did it with the 80s or whatever was in his bubble and his world.
Right.
And then look at all the people that age, our age at the time.
Yes.
It just was like wildfire. How did you not love it? You had to love it. So just like just like all the pioneers, the únicos, and all the people before them, los
Yes, yes, yes,
fabulosos, and
yes. Laura Canales and
on, you know, the
the story that
songwriters.
Valde Muñoz also with his story. How I still remember him saying that they would ask him, "What kind of music do you play?" And
Yeah.
he didn't have an answer because there was no answer yet. How cool
Yes,
is
because
that?
there was no Tex-Mex. There
Yeah, there
was
was no word for it
no
yet. Chicano
I
is the
know. You
closest
know
thing that
what's so crazy to me? Like on my dad's Facebook page, by the way, Cecilio Garza y los Casinos, his Facebook page. I'm his secretary, so sometimes he doesn't feel like posting, but he'll send me a picture, and I'll say, "Okay, what is this?" And he'll give me some crazy comment, and I'll be like, "Okay." Anyway, a lot of his posts that's how they come about. But my point is, people that comment to those posts, you know, they just everybody knows everything, and I think it's funny because I'm like, well, this is coming from an actual person that used to tour and go all over the country who personally knew these people,
yeah,
and so that's pretty dang valid. But people will comment and say, oh, well, that's not this kind of music or that kind of music, and that's why it's important to have our legends speak. So
yes, they were
um,
there. They
they
were
did
there,
it, you know.
and we were how lucky were we to get Abraham to talk about the his experience and how he ended up in Tejano. And again, I'm gonna say the biggest person coming out of Tejano, Selena, came from Abraham Quintanilla. Had he not been who he was, had he not loved music, like he showed us that he loved it,
Yes, remember
Selena,
when we
there,
were
there would not have been a Selena.
Yes, when we were in his office and we couldn't help but ask because he brought her up again. I wouldn't bring her up, but we're in her museum, and he brought her up. And somebody, I don't know. I ask a lot of questions wherever I am, because why not? But we asked what was your favorite song of hers, and who's your favorite singer? You know, one of us asked who's your favorite singer, and he said Marcos Solis.
Oh yeah, that's
Remember?
yes.
But then what's your and then of course, and he said, and my daughter, he said, you know, and then we asked, well, what's your favorite Selena song? And he said, No me queda más. Hmm. And he told the story that, of course, everyone shows and tells everywhere, like they did
No,
in the
I love
documentary.
it that you have a memory, Lauren Jean. I mean, I was there too in the same place.
I've lost my keys
I
4 times today, but I remember some conversations word for word. I couldn't even reenact them for you. But I'm going to sleep with my keys because I have to get to work freakishly early tomorrow. And yeah, I keep losing my keys. It's ridiculous.
You need to get that the GPS for your keys, and it'll
Okay.
sound, it'll beep, it'll beep. Oh, and let me tell you why I know.
Let me guess. Let me
Need
guess.
it.
No, that day in the office, you know, well, first the day with the interview with him, we went 2 hours, and I felt like he could have kept talking.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too.
Like he was so
I
comfortable.
even
We were
feel like
just
I
hanging out.
prematurely cut him off, you know, because yeah, and that's why, and like, and we kept running and with it because then that's when he brought his wife in, and that could have been another 2 hours,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
So, and then when we were in the office, you know, he played the
Maria
music.
Paula, remember?
Yes, Maria
Oh,
Paula. And then when we were in the office that day, there were some people from where Spain, remember?
oh yes, and he stopped. They stopped to say hi to
And
him.
they popped their head in there, and he wasn't like, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing
Right.
in the office?" He was just like, "Oh, can I help you?" And they said, "Yes." And in Spanish, they had that really thick European
Yes.
Spanish
European Spanish
dialect.
accent. Yes.
And they were saying that they came to the area that they were in San Antonio, that they had come to San Antonio, but they learned about the museum and they knew who Selena was, and they didn't realize where, you know, they just knew it was in Texas. People don't realize how big
How
Texas is.
big Texas is. Yes. That's like
You could be in
all of
Texas all
Asia.
day. You could drive all day and still be in
Yes,
Texas,
and
but
still be in Texas. That is, accurate.
Yes, so they said they were from Spain and they were in San Antonio visiting and that they wanted to come to the museum. So they took the 2-hour drive to come to the
My God,
museum.
Lori, can you really remember that? I was there. I remember vaguely the people walking in and him asking him, and I
You
remember
were videotaping.
huh?
No, I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. You were videotaping. That's why. No, I'm kidding.
I was. I'm trying to download the video right now. It's taking too long. Keep rolling, Lori.
Okay. Oh, girl, I could go all day. Anyway.
Oh, hold on. Look. I do have this. Watch this. Yay!
That's, yeah, right around that time is when he said, Netflix asked me. He leaned back and said it. And he said, I better not sit back too far. I'm wearing pajamas. I'm tired. I'm so tired. This is my break being here with you. So, he said that. But anyhow, those people from Spain, he stopped and he talked to them for a long time. And they were asking him questions. And he was super, super friendly.
Yeah. Like
I mean,
you
he was never like, oh, hi. But he was like just very stern.
Yeah.
And, I guess, again, I won't say the word negative, but he was, I'm sorry, just old school respectful, like our dads and our tios and our grandpas, they just say what they need to say. Always very friendly. Like my dad said, always, no matter where I was, siempre me saludaba bien, like never, because sometimes people are rude. He was never rude to our, just to people. For sure with my dad, my dad was like, he was
my sister noticed that when I posted up a picture with my dad and Abraham, and my sister said, I was just noticing that everybody's posting pictures with Abraham and he does the peace sign. And she said, but he's hugging Papi. Like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
So, man.
Now I have one. Yeah, he did that with me and my dad too.
Yeah. So that was so cool. I don't, like I said, I couldn't post any pictures, just that one. I don't think I have anything else.
But yeah, that day there in his office, when those people, there's one.
Yes, yeah, the peace sign, there it is. So your dad threw the peace sign too.
Oh, there goes
signs around.
And there's the photo bomber back there.
Oh, there he is. That's right.
That was funny. But yeah, Mr. Quintanilla was just so cool. And that day with those people from Spain, he was just talking to them. And, I thought that was really cool. I bet.
He's hugging my dad right there.
Oh, I saw that. I love that. Can you imagine those people from Spain that came all the way from Spain to go to San Antonio and said, hey, the museum, how far could it be? Let's, that they rented a car and went to Corpus.
Yeah.
And then to actually have a conversation in his office, like they ended up coming in the office.
Yes, they were.
And there was a lot of us there. It was,
they were taking up our time. No,
it was just, they were super.
No, we were freaked out too. We're like, wow, somebody from Spain, from Europe over here. Saludos, Chupacabra. Hi. Says hello, everyone. Saludos, guys. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for coming in.
And then that day, there was a lot of us in there. Oscar Solis and Linda.
I'm trying to look. The video is still downloading. I've got the video.
Okay. But what was super crazy is, and I know we know people who probably, have had that experience. Me skipping school that day or playing hooky, the teacher playing hooky. It was a work day, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, right. You didn't skip out on the kids. You didn't skip out.
Right. So then he took us upstairs to the room where that guy read. In the studio. I
was like watching the Netflix documentary. I'm like, ooh, wait.
I know. I said, that's the red. We were sitting.
We were there. I
The
know.
Grammy? How crazy was
I
that?
know.
That
That's so
man
cool.
read, and just like in the Selena movie, where in that scene where she's recording, and then she said something like "Red, that's a rap," and Mr. Quintanilla told us that this is the Red from the movie. This
Yes.
is him, and that's his Grammy. And
And,
I was like, wow.
yeah, and we
They
were
were actively working on music
yeah.
there. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. That was pretty crazy. That
I
was
mean,
a really cool experience that
how
day.
lucky were we?
hmm
How lucky were we? How blessed were we,
So
Lori
what
Jean?
are you uploading? What is the video that you're
I'm
uploading?
trying to upload that video, that awkward video where I shouldn't have been videotaping, but I got where when we're here in his office,
hmm
and look, maybe I can just no, I can't even play it here. No, I can't even see it here because
Yes, 'cause he gave us all CDs of the music that he had, of the artist music. Um and yeah, it was really cool.
yeah,
But going back to, as far as I can remember, their family has always been a part of the culture around us, impacting the culture around us somehow, in some way, of course, well, through the music, but even crazier that we that he sat with us for so long.
it's
And then that day too, we were at the museum all, like, with the breakfast we were done with by 10. We went
yeah.
straight to the museum and we stayed there till like 2. We stayed
We,
there
well, it was a
hours.
long time, but I don't remember.
No, it was hours because I did go back to work for a meeting later. And I had my Selena shirt because I had to get my Selena shirt. I almost wore it today, but it's real thick and I get
Oh,
caught.
that's what I was gonna say. That I got the book, but I didn't think to go back and have him sign it.
Mm.
Oh, so I didn't have him sign it, but I have a picture with him. They'll be like, okay, look, here's his book, and here's me with him. We just didn't coincide to get the signature.
Can we
Saludos to
have
Luis
him?
Trevino. She says, hello, beautiful Gigi, la chicana Guerrero, and everyone tuning in. Saludos desde Pearsall, Texas. Saludos. Thank
Oh,
you, Lisa, for
cool.
coming in. Yeah, we're talking about our experience that we had with Abraham Quintanilla. We feel beyond blessed to celebrate his life by saying what a wonderful person he was to us and to anybody that we saw him interact with. Um, and if you want to go back and if you see this in watch it again or watch it if you're not watching it live, I put up that video that I found when I was doing research on him, where he explained what happened, where a lot of people were nasty and mean to him about something they think that he did and cost his daughter's life, which is wrong, absolutely wrong. And I put that video up there. He said that in another interview. And I have, by the way, I have no rights to that video, just for entertainment purposes only, or whatever I need to say legally. But that was Abraham Quintanilla saying that he had nothing to do with the blood transfusion and all that stuff. So what we experienced was beautiful. What we experienced was our experience was a legend who started one of the in the renaissance of new Tejano genre. He was started a genre with his band, but then changed to what is now known as Tejano. And if he had not done that, we would not have Selena. Flat
Mhm.
out, Selena would not exist if Abraham Quintanilla had not done what he did.
And I'm so thankful that we got to talk to him about his beginnings, because exactly what you're saying, look what the end result was and continues to be and grow, and people are still fascinated.
Yeah.
And I still play Selena all the time, all the time. Who doesn't,
I know.
and
It's still the best thing to
cross-cultural,
hear.
cross-cultural, and back to his beginnings. I don't think that when I was younger, 20, 30 years ago, I I knew, we knew, oh, Selena's dad was a Dino, you know,
Right.
okay. And I knew somehow, because we didn't have then what we have now,
Yeah.
where you can Google it, search it up, watch it on Netflix,
Yes.
whatever. It was just by word of mouth, because when Selena would come to town, like I grew up in Bay City for part of my life, Bay City, Texas, and she came to our town, and my parents went to saludar a Abraham. I
Right.
remember my dad would say
Of course.
they would go saludar, and they'd go knock on the door of the van or the bus or whatever, and they would catch up and stuff. And um, I knew, through my dad, that Abraham had been in a band, but not until I was a year ago old, or 2 years ago, when I saw him, hearing it from him, hearing it from Mr. Buga, and because I saw Mr. Buga posted that the four original Dinos, and it was such a sweet post that Mr. Quintanilla was the last of the original Dinos.
And he talked about that in the
He
interview,
talks
that they
about
were all gone, that he was the only one left. Now they're all
yes,
together singing in heaven now.
yes, that he was and he said that. He said, "Yeah, you're right." He said, "I'm the last one. I'm the last one."
Did say that.
And you know, just their he was so smart and so business savvy, and they were so talented. But I thought it was great how he said, that you had to dress a certain way. Remember, he's the one that said they would
And
dress.
that's when Booga talked about his outfit, because he was the one that was más gordito.
Oh man, I hope Mr. Buga sees this.
Yes.
I
do plan
wanted to
I
go to Houston and see him at a Legends, or see him somewhere catch
Yeah.
up.
Okay, I think it uploaded the video. Let's see. Okay, just awkward video where even I felt I shouldn't be videotaping, because it was a very private moment that Mr. Abraham Quintanilla was sharing with us, but it was Abraham Quintanilla sharing a moment with us. And with my experience of my whole family gone, I know that at the end of the day, that's all we ever have left. So take pictures, take videos, even if it feels awkward. I don't care. I didn't care. I don't care. Because why? Because someday they'll be gone, and all you will have left is that. And then maybe it'll be awkward at that very moment, but you'll be grateful afterwards that you have that. So here it is. With that said, I think I.
From Tucson, Arizona. Now, this is because the good thing about Tejano, or us people, los Mexico Americanos, that we can sing either language, English or Spanish. I recorded from Tucson, Arizona. Now, this is because the good thing about Tejano, or us people, los Mexico Americanos, that we can sing either language, English or Spanish. I recorded from Tucson.
And there it is. There is the proof of what we were. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. There's the proof of what we were talking about. We were there. We were there.
Yeah, that was me going.
Yeah. Your
I
dad.
did take a selfie of me and Dad. I did take it when he was.
Yeah,
like,
well, you were more, but I took. See, I had forgotten that Linda Escobar was there too, and there she was there too. Who else?
Mr. Duque was there too.
Duque was there, exactly. There was a lot of big hitters there, and
there's stories. I've been trying to get to a Legends breakfast in Corpus, but they just fall on the days that I can't leave work. Like I just can't.
Maybe in the summer. Maybe in the summer.
I don't have a summer.
Oh, then never mind. So
Anyway.
yeah, I mean,
So
yes.
there is let me see, Lisa. Oh, did you already say? Oh, Lisa Trevino. But Rick, he says, Slick Rick, we met him at the Hano TV. We saw him at the museum. Hello.
Oh, okay. Hello. Saludos.
But he said that when he was a young guy, that he met my dad in, Mathis, Texas, and he was a young kid, and his uncle had a dance hall, and the casinos would play there. So it's crazy to hear the
My
stories.
dad would go to Mathis también. I remember Mathis. That's why it's weird when I come back from Austin. I see all it. Sometimes GPS takes me through the little towns. Stupid GPS. But
I
anyway,
think there's a setting for that. We'll have
well,
to look it
well,
up together.
I purposely do it to avoid the freeway sometimes to all the traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, I decided not to do it this time. I was literally in traffic in San Antonio for 30 minutes, bumper to bumper, because of all the construction. But it was late at night, and I'd rather stay there than where GPS takes you. I
Yeah.
mean, you
No
never know.
telling.
You never
Yes,
know where you
no
end up.
telling.
So no thanks.
Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. So thank you all for watching. Gigi, thank you for having me. I know we're not saying goodbye. My dad, when we're at a gig and I say something like that, he's like, "We're not leaving yet. Don't say things like that. People are
Why
gonna
is
think we're
that,
finished.
Georgie?
We're not finished." But no, I'm
I
glad you
didn't
took
realize
that.
what time it is. What that we
I
start?
know.
Holy.
We've been on for an hour and 37 minutes.
Okay, it's time to leave. Okay, some people have to work. I mean, some people have to work. But
Oh,
anyway,
thank you,
um,
Lindo, Rick. Yes, the dance hall. Chito Lindo or
at,
Cielo
at
Lindo?
the Chito Lindo Dance Hall. So yeah,
Yeah, that was
saludos. I
awesome.
want to thank everybody who came into the show. I want to thank everybody who's going to be watching us later, either on Gigi La Chicana Facebook, Gigi La Chicana Guerrero, Giras y Desveladas on Facebook, Giras y Desveladas on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. And thank you again to Juan Mendoza Jr. and Laila Lisa Promotions for having Gira Desveladas as part of the Tejano TV lineup and our own channel on your Roku TV. So thank you for that. We want to wrap up with saying uh, our condolences to the Quintanilla family. It's bittersweet because daddy's finally with his baby. That's the first thing I thought. Um, we were blessed to share just a tiny smidgen
Yes.
of moments with him that we will have forever. And we were blessed that he said yes to an interview on Giras y Desveladas.
Yeah. And treated us like we're
family.
yeah. That just blows me away. And it blows me away that it's him, you know. I could go on and on. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Saludos.
Hi. But
Everyone.
no, yes, thank you, Gigi, for having me on because um by no means is it in any way to be making anything other than just out of respect and the honor it was that he took time out of everything that he was and everything that he did
I know.
to spend 2 hours with us on talking to us and then brought us in to his office for another 2 more in those places that not everybody gets to go. Like he trusted us enough for that, and I'll be so thankful. I'll be thankful for that forever for that experience.
Yes.
And yes, thank you for letting me come in here with you today.
Thank you for coming in, Lori Jean. And I know that when we talked about it yesterday, because that's something that we share. We said that's such a special moment. And when you said we should do a show, or did I say, I don't know who said it. And I was like, yeah, we need to do a show. We really do, because this is special. He was special. And if it wasn't for him, I hope people see him for what he was. That if it wasn't for him, there would have been no Selena.
Mm-hmm.
He was the man.
Yeah,
He
and his
was.
experiences and all that all that he shared with us about his beginnings.
Yes.
The result in the end is the ongoing legacy that
Yes.
Selena has left, and they're going to continue to grow. That legacy will just keep growing, through her brother, through her family, through her museum, through everything they're continuing to do, and how that's just it's a miraculous story.
Yeah, it is.
He started out of a love, his love for music and his love for his family and what he
Yes.
saw in his family that he knew, that he saw that, and it's ongoing. What a legacy.
Forever, forever. And what a positive thing for our community, for our genre, for our people, for our, like he said, our raza.
I have to share one more thing, Gigi, because it
Right.
just jumped in my brain. And I know we're trying to despedirnos, but
That's right. You know what? I remember with my tia, we'd say, "Okay, bye." That was about an hour at the door,
is
and then
that a
another
Mexican
hour in the
thing?
car. At the car, us inside the car, her outside the car. It'd be another hour.
Yes, my kids will be, Mom, please, let's go. But something popped in my brain right now talking about the legacy that they're leaving. Without saying too much, I work with disadvantaged children from around the world, and they're miraculous themselves. And I mentioned that no matter where they come from, a lot of them know Selena. And there's one particular young lady or a little group of them that comes to mind when they're waiting because they have in their day the different things they have to do. They sing, como la flor. And our where I work is very structured, very high security, very all kinds of, of course I'm, can be sweet to them and stuff, but I want to sing with them so bad. And I want to say, oh my gosh, like I wonder if their family knows the impact, like really,
Yeah.
really, really. I mean, I know we know it's grown, they're huge legacy, like we just said, forever,
Yeah,
but
they changed lives. They changed the
these
world. He
little,
changed the world.
that these
Selena
little
changed the world,
girls,
but it was him first. He changed the
yes,
world for Selena.
yeah, that these little girls, and they mentioned that in the documentary. I think the brother said at the end, this is for all those kids. This is for
Yes.
them. And
Yeah.
so when I saw that part of the documentary, I thought of these moments, because it happens several times a week that I overhear. I'm in close proximity to the young ladies that just hold that tune to get through their day, and they chime in with each other. And
Oh,
I think that if having met him, and it's crazy to me that I could say that
I know, right?
for even the most minute moment in the universe, we met him and he was
Yeah.
super kind to us. I wish I could have told him that, these, young kids with the challenges they face, that little tune,
Makes
they carry it with
makes up
them
their
and
day.
it
Yeah.
brings them some
Joy.
joy in their day. And like you said, it's because in the end, it was him pushing and encouraging. And
Yes.
um, yeah, so
So he did a beautiful thing in his life, and we will always say that he was a pioneer, he was a legend, and if it wasn't for him, there would not be a Selena. So people need to consider the gravity of that.
and he was a dad and he was a husband
He was a
and
daddy.
a
He
grandpa
was a
and a
yes,
grandpa.
and a grandpa. Yes, and you could tell. Oh, and he was also a fur daddy. He had his fur baby. Remember, his fur baby was
I
there.
don't remember. See, you remember the fur baby. I don't remember the fur baby.
I have a fur
I
baby.
can remember all kinds of other things.
Between the both of us, maybe we'll have a complete memory.
Between both of us, yes.
And so Lisa Trevino says, "May Mr. Quintanilla rest in peace." And it's so weird, actually, to me. I'm having a hard time accepting it, to be honest. To be just truthfully, gut wrenching honest, I still can't believe it. So may rest in peace, and may he rest in peace. Deepest condolences to the family. Also, a big hug and God's blessing for everyone. Saludos to your beautiful co-host. Yes, and I came in too late, ladies.
It's
No,
a filter. It's not.
No, you're
No, but yes, condolences to his family and sending them prayers and big hugs because a there's never a
never
time
great.
that's any easier,
Mm.
no matter when it happens, and there's just never a better time. Like it just doesn't exist. It's always going to be difficult, and but what a legacy! What a legacy!
What a
It's
legacy he left behind. I'm gonna play the intro where he had all his songs. Guys, look up Abraham Quintanilla, Los Dinos, the old Dinos. I'm the all. I just these were all just all little clips of his songs, and then I'll come back and then we'll say goodbye.
know someone still cares. So good to know that you'll always be there. I know what I was wrong to make you cry. I will love you till I die. Give me one more chance. Won't you give me a chance? Our love as sweet as yours is changing you and me to find someone to love. Hoy te iba a querer, pero me arrepentí. La luna me miró y yo la comprendí. Me dijo que tu amor no me iba a hacer feliz, que me ibas a olvidar. Dicen que eres mala, que tú eres quien le hablas a los hombres. También dicen que te chiflas y te vuelas con cualquiera que se ponga pantalones. Pero así te quiero, aunque seas volada, y de lo que digan no me importa nada. Pero así te quiero. No, I can't forget you ever. Oh, oh, so hard to tell.
And that was our amazing time that we had with Mr. Abraham Quintanilla. And let me close with a picture before I do my outro. And just so blessed, so blessed, so blessed. Look at this. We're so blessed to have had those special moments with Mr. Abraham Quintanilla. And again, our love to all the family and everybody mourning him. I guess we're mourning him like family too, because he was just such a sweet guy. Lori Jean, love you, love everything you're doing, love you that you're with your dad. And I remember I told you, don't wait like me until he was gone to do it.
yes.
So,
Yes, and that made a big impact on me. Seeing what you were going through with your dad, and I mentioned to you, I had already started recording my dad's stories,
yes, secretly.
And not just music, but my background is history, and our stories are just important. Their stories are just important as anybody else's that come on TV or they write books about, and I know we're wrapping up here and I could go on and on and on because every event we go to, they say, we need to teach this in the schools and this should be taught. But realistically, from an educator of like 20 years, and I don't say things like that all the time because I don't like when people say, I've been doing this for 20. Okay, I've been doing this for 20 years. You cannot teach whatever you want in school. No. Not in public school. You have to teach what the state of Texas tells you to teach. Yeah.
That's why we're the teachers here.
You have to teach what they tell you each grade level teaches. And I will tell you, these people that we have on the show, and that's why I wanted to come on the show with you all those years ago, they're not being taught. And so that's going to have to come from us or somewhere else. And it's a whole long story. If you want to get it taught by the state of Texas, then
Oh.
then you're going to start getting into government and
Yeah. It was
bottom
just a
line,
podcast.
the stories are important and they need to come like thankfully, Gigi, they came from our dads to us and they came from our environment. And that's this little piece of what we get to do here. And that's a Mr. Quintanilla. That was, you know, everyone knows who that is. So, thank you. Thank you for having me on here. And it's our little piece of sharing with the world or what our legends share. And so thank you for letting me.
Yes, we're blessed,
Yeah.
blessed, and I continue to do this. I continue to do this not only for my father, for your father, for all the legends of Tejano music, all the pioneers. You're all welcome to come in and share your story with us. I'm still gonna go get Mel Barrial. I'm sorry, I don't care what you say. Uh,
Well, I'm
go
coming
get
to the valley. We have our thing this Thursday. Oh, how did I get talking about a history teacher and Teeks when we were talking about my dad and his project? See, I need a nap and I need to. I haven't. Yeah. Anyhow, Dad. We need part 2 with my dad. He's
We
ready.
need,
But
of course. I told you, doors open whenever he's right, whenever y'all are ready.
I'll
We'll
have
do
a few days
special
off in a couple of weeks. But yes,
Cecilio
you're
Garza
right.
special.
We'll figure that out with Dad.
Yes, and whatever you've got going on, because like I said, Giras y Desveladas, we're now, promoting the newer artists that are out there that people don't know.
Which is awesome.
Yes, we love our
Yes.
legends.
Awesome.
Yes, we love our golden era people. But you know what? There's some amazingly talented people right now. Jenny B finally, kind of popped out with her best female or whatever award, but she was in the obscurity. Nobody knew who she was, and still people
I always come across her. I think we met her at Janie's record shop 2 years ago when we were in
yes we met her there, and I had already seen her video on Tejano TV on Mas Chingon. One of her videos was on the top 10. And so, that's why saludos too, because
and her Facebook reels. Her Facebook reels are, oh my gosh, I love her Facebook reels. Actually, I don't. Funny. She is funny.
So,
but, it's great.
Well, it's a combination of things, and that, like us, it's Tejano TV, it's Giras y Desveladas, it's Lori Jean, taking Dottager to Cecilio Garza. It's all of us. It's Norma Salazar backing up her husband and the genre and people Tejano in Michigan. And it really does take a village to have our music out there. And why is it so important? Because it's us. It's so uniquely ours. Nobody can claim this. Nobody else. It's ours. It's ours to share. And it's not taught in schools. We have to teach ourselves.
Yeah, we have to share it this way. It's the only way to share it. But thank you so much. I'm glad it worked out. I've been super swamped with my day job and then working with my dad has a new song. People can follow him on his Cecilio Garza y Los Casinos page. Then I have my page, Lori Jean. We both have a song coming out, God willing, before the end of the year. It's almost ready.
Yay!
This is ready. He debuted. Actually, we're working on a lot of stuff. I have calendars everywhere for him, for me, for personal, but like I said, don't count the days, make the days count. But I could use
that. Yes. Saludos to Hendog. He says, Gigi La Chicana Guerrero. See you on the Music Extravaganza show. He's going to have a December 17th. And why don't you come on too, Lori Jean? Just sing a Christmas song.
Well, December 17th, I'm thinking of driving to the Valley so that I will already be there on the 18th because Dad and I have a gig.
It's virtual, just like this. So
it would be driving and
don't be dangerous. Don't be dangerous. All right. Well,
Thank you.
Lori
Thank
Jean,
you
I
for
was
the
like,
invite,
it's
though.
just like
Thank you.
old times. I love it. I know. And like when I sent you the link to the show, I was like, it totally, totally brought me back to when we was like, and we were rushing, and oh my God, we're gonna be late. Remember, we were always noonish. Thank you, Jesus, for Janie Canales, Johnny Canales' brother, sister. She was on doing a stint with us. She was doing co-hosting as well, and she's like, Gigi, 12 o'clock's too early on Sunday. 12 o'clock's too early. Let the people get out of church and go out to eat.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
ya cuando
point.
lleguen para atrás. And I was like, you know what? You've got a point. And so we changed to 2 p.m. So everybody watching, Giras y Desveladas, normally Sunday 2 p.m. We're here late. It's almost going to be 7, Lori Jean. We
I
got so much
know. I
other
gotta
things
go to
to
work
do.
early.
Yes, keep an eye out. I don't know if I'm going to do it. Maybe the second half of Recuerdos of Abraham Quintanilla. I'm not sure yet, so don't hold me to it because it's a lot of work. But and Gigi's got all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff going on, all kinds of stuff going on. So, but thank God for that, right? Thank God for that.
Yes.
Thank God
Yes.
for every day that we're busy doing something, and that we're able to see a new day every day. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Lori Jean. Do not be a stranger. Love you, everybody that came in. God
You
bless you. Cuídense.
too.
It's cold out there. Get
Yes.
warmed up. Love you. Bye.